Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we will discuss about VED analysis. In the previous video lecture, we have seen that ABC analysis. These type of analysis are part of inventory management technique. VED analysis is also a inventory management technique which is using in production plant or any manufacturing plant for better management of inventory. Here V stands for vital, D stands for desirable, and E stands for essential. These are the components which are using in or raw material or any machinery item or any spare parts using in any manufacturing plant like vital component or vital raw material, desirable component or desirable raw material, same like essential component or essential raw material. Inventory is classified as the functional importance under the following three categories. The VED analysis on the basis of the functional importance. One is vital, one is essential, and another one is desirable. Vital, in the vital category, items without which treatment comes to a standstill, non-availability can be tolerated. The vital items are stocked in evidence, essential item, and very strict control. Essential items are items whose non-availability can be tolerated for 2 to 3 days because similar or alternative items are available. Essential items are stocked in medium amounts. Purchase is based on rigid requirements and the reasonably strict watch. The desirable item is item which non-availability can be tolerated for a long period. Desirable items are stocked in a small amount and purchase is based on the usage estimates. Here the word significant of vital, essential and the desirable. Vital components are that component which affect directly our rate of production and it leads to the ideal machining and ideal manpower. Thus, it is a very important component or any very important raw material we generally kept in vital category. But in the if any component is kept from vital category and if our inventory is stock out from the vital category, then our production will stop until the that raw material has come to our inventory. And in the essential type of inventory control, those items which if this item is non available from the essential category, then the production rate is not affected to 2 or 3 days. And if we coming to the desirable category, then the production rate is not affected during a long time like 7 days, 15 days or 13 days. Then on the basis of requirement of that component or on the basis of requirement of that raw material, we are placing different type of components in these groups: vital, essential and desirable. This is the overall theoretical aspect of VED analysis. Like VED ranking may be done on the basis of shortage cost of material, which can be either quantified or qualitatively expressed. The fundamental question behind VED analysis is what item could your business not operate without? Because in the VED analysis, we analyze at the importance of that component in our industry. In most manufacturing environment, there are a few components without which production will grind to a halt. Failing to order those items on time is clearly an expensive mistake. Expensive mistakes here represent the idling of machine, idling of manpower, because no machine is running or no manpower is working that time in a particular industry, and our production will either stopped or very slow because the absence of these items. In VED method, vital, essential, and desirable, each stock items is classified on either vital, essential, or desirable based on how critical the item is, providing for health services or providing for the production services. The vitals items are stocked in abundance, essential items are stocked in medium, and the desirable items we stock in a small amount, as we have discussed earlier. Vital and essential items are always in a stock with means a minimum disruption in services offered to the people. These are the some advantages of VED analysis. It is useful for monitoring and control of stores and spares inventory by classifying them into three categories. But one thing is kept always in mind, that the basis of the categorization is the importance of that part in any manufacturing plant. It determines the critically an item and it affect on production and the other services, because it clearly uh, determine the necessity of that item in any manufacturing process or in any manufacturing plant. And on the basis of that necessity, we kept in three group, as we know: VED analysis, vital, essential, and desirable. It is useful for controlling and maintain the stocks of various types, but the types is always on the basis of essentiality of the component in the manufacturing plant. Here, one thing is also important. This is the overall form VED analysis. Another one technique is just in time management, originated in Japan in the 1960s and 70s by the Toyota Motor Corp. The method allows companies to save significant amount of money and reduce waste by keeping only the inventory they need to produce and sell product. Just in time management represent the essentiality of that component, or what are the various component which is very essential to use in any production method or use in any manufacturing plants, and only we have to purchase that type of material which is very essential, like vital or essential or desirable. This approach reduce storage and insurance cost. Of course, if you know about the limited component which is very essential for our production or which affect directly the production rate, then we only buy that minimum requirement or minimum order quantity of that type of component. Thus overall it reduces the our storage facility and insurance cost, transportation cost, ordering cost. Overall cost will be reduced by applying just in time management, as the cost of liquidating or discarding excess inventory. Here the overall the picture of just in time management. This is the production line. Customer place order. Inventory management contains supplier companies and the raw material. Here the production line, delivery of the products, or a production gets customer gets product. Here customer wants to get a product, it contact to the inventory manager, then inventory manager contact to the suppliers, then supplier contact to the companies, and on the basis of that requirement, the production line of the companies uh, make that type of product. Here the finished good out from the company, the delivery of the product is going to final customers and customer get the product. So just in time inventory management can be risky because sometime if we talking about only minimum order quantity, then we in due to some uncircumstances reason our raw material stock would be stock out in near future. If demand unexpectedly speaks, the manufacturer may not be able to source the inventory it needs to meet that demand, damaging its reputation with customers and driving business towards competitors. Even the small delay can be problematic if a key input does not arrive just in time or bottlenecks can result. This is the overall from the just-in-time manufacturing. In this video lecture, we have seen two topics. One is VED analysis and one is JIT or just in manufacturing, just in time technique. In VED, we have seen that the definition, steps, and various advantages and disadvantages of VED analysis. Thank you. Thank you all. Hello, everyone. In the previous chapter of inventory management or previous video lecture, we will discuss this type of various stages of inventory management, raw material inventory management like decision stage, sourcing stage, production planning stage, a stage of ordering, and the receiving stage. And the last one is inventory control. In this chapter we will discuss about various inventory terms like safety stock, buffer stock, order quantity, minimum order quantity, reorder level, and the lead time. Safety stock or the buffer stock is an ideal quantity of material that has to be always mentioned, and it is drawn only in the emergency situation. It is the buffer stock we can stock for the production process, and it can use in any emergency situation is known as safety stock. Lead time, it is the time lap between the placement of an order and the receipt of the item, including their approval by the quality control department. This is counted on past experience. Procurement of material has a long lead time because we know that in the coming future, if we plan to product something new or we continue the previous production, then on the past experience we can calculate the future requirement of the that raw material. Then lead time is the lapse between the placement of new order and the receiving of that item. This time is known as lead time. Sometime it may be 1 month, sometime it may be 15 days, sometime it may be 7 days on the availability of raw material. Sometimes the lead time depends on the suppliers or vendor also, because the raw material we are only taking from that suppliers or that vendors. This is the order quantity, the quantity of an item to be ordered when a stock of the item fall to predetermined minimum stock level. We mark a minimum stock level in any inventory. At when inventory comes at the minimum stock level, then we place a new order uh, for avoiding the using of buffer stock. The reorder quantity should serve to replenish stock to plant maximum stock level, and we try to maximize our stock level. For this, we can order to the raw material to the various suppliers regularly, follow up and try to receive the material or the raw material at earliest basis. Reorder level. It indicates that the level of material stock at which it is necessary to take the step for the procurement of further lots of material. The reorder level is slightly more than minimum stock level to guard against abnormal use of item and abnormal delay in supply. Reorder level, we can calculate minimum lead time into the maximum usage. This is the minimum order quantity we can know in the manufacturing plant. We know as MOQ, a minimum order quantity. It is the oldest set amount of stock that a supplier is willing to sell. If you can't purchase the minimum order quantity of a specific product, then the supplier would not sell it to you. This is the cost of inventory, like how much cost of inventory takes place and how much percentage of cost of any product we invest in the inventory management, or we invent in the finished good inventory, uh, raw material inventory. Like ordering cost, in this we place a new order. We can try to find out the various stages like placing, follow up, transportation, these type of cost in the ordering cost. Carrying cost, like storage, insurance, risk of damage during transportation, or any sudden slightly fallen of price in a raw material due to uncertain condition. A stock out cost, like out of a stock of that particular raw material, immediate purchasing, and the customer value. These all type of cost associated with the cost of inventory, we broadly classify into three group: ordering cost, carrying cost, and stock out cost. Ordering cost consists two type of cost: order placing cost, order proceeding cost. Carrying cost includes storage, insurance, the risk of damage, depreciation, or price fall due to uncircumstances. And the third one is a stock out cost. It include out of a stock of raw material, immediate purchase, customer value, or the sometime it depends on the types of the vendors and suppliers also. This overall affect the cost of the any product. These are the some inventory management techniques like EOQ, ABC analysis, JIT, VED. Uh, we by using this type of inventory management technique, we easily manage our inventory in any manufacturing plant. Like EOQ, economic order quantity, we have seen earlier that EQ is a quantity of inventory which can reasonable by order economically at a time. In determining this point, ordering cost and carrying cost are taken into consideration. Ordering cost are basically the cost of placing an order, and the carrying cost includes cost of storage facilities, cost of transportation, cost of loss of value through physical deterioration, or the cost of obsolescence. Any type of carrying cost, any type of damage during the carrying or during the inventory, it all includes in the carrying cost. The balancing point is known as economic order quantity. Economic order quantity represent the that appropriate amount of raw material which we are going to use in near future. We kept only that type of amount of raw material for upcoming production, neither less than the economic order quantity, less stock, or neither over or stock raw material. This is the definition of economic order quantity. Like economic order quantity is one of the technique of inventory control which minimize total handling and ordering cost for the year in any manufacturing plant. It is essentially an accounting formula that determines at which the combination of order cost and inventory carrying cost at the least position. Because our overall motto is to minimum cost of there is a minimum cost of any product, then we maximize our profit. And for the minimum cost into production, first we looking into inventory control, because apart from the cost of machine, it takes more percentage of our capital. We invest into raw material, transportation of raw material, storage of raw material. Then we can say that economic order quantity is uh, also responsible for the set price of the finished goods. Here is the EQ formula, EOQ formula, economic order quantity formula. By using of this formula, we can calculate our requirement in the upcoming future, like 2 into annual usage in units multiply by overall order cost and divided by annual carrying cost per unit. Here annual consumptions by the use of materials, cost of order placing, like a, the shortest form of this formula is 2CO by I, 2C under root 2CO by I. This is the advantages of this is the advantages of this is the various advantages of economic order quantity. Like each material can be produced in the most economical quantity, purchasing and inventory control personnel automatically devote attention to the items that are needed only when required. Positive control can easily be exerted to maintain level of inventory, uh, maintain total inventory investment at the desired level simple by manipulating the planned maximum and minimum value, minimize storage and holding cost specific to the business. These are the various advantages of economic order quantity. These are the various disadvantages, like complicated math calculation, because we have calculation done according to mathematical formula based on the assumptions. The order are raised at irregular intervals which may not be convenient to the suppliers. In case the lead time is very high, supply of inventory may interrupt. Economic order quantity may give you an order quantity which is much below the supplier minimum, and there is always a chance that the ordering level for an item has been reached but not noticed when case in a stock out case in the stock out problem. The item can't be group and order at a time since the reorder point occur irregularly. These are the various disadvantages of economic order quantity. This is the overall form economic order quantity. Now the next part of this lecture we will discuss in the next video lecture. Thank you. Thank you all. Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will discuss about water jet machining process. In the previous chapter, we have discussed about abrasive jet machining, and in this chapter, we will discuss about various aspects of water jet machining process. These two processes are the types of newer machining process or advanced manufacturing process. In this lecture, we will cover topic of introduction, working principle, process parameters, advantage, limitations, and applications of water jet machining process. Here are the some introduction of water jet machining process. Like K element in water jet machining is a jet of water. In the WJM or water jet machining, water jet travel at velocities of 900 meter per second. When the water stream strike a workpiece surface, the erosive force of water removes the material rapidly. The water in this case act like a saw and cuts a narrow groove in the workpiece material. These are the basic introduction of the water jet machining process, in which, in simple words, water is striking on the workpiece mixture with some abrasive particle, and with the help of this mixture, the mechanical erosion of workpiece can be occurred and finally get our finished product. Now the principle of water jet machining process is it involves directing a high pressure flowing through nozzles like 150 to 100 megapascal with high velocity 550 to 1400 meter per second water jet to the surface to be machined. The fluid flow rate is typically from 0.5 to 2.5 per minute. The kinetic energy of water jet after striking the work surface is reduced to zero. The bulk of kinetic energy of jet is converted into pressure energy. If the local pressure caused by the water jet exceeds the strength of the surface being machined, the material from the surface gets eroded and a cavity is thus formed. In the water jet machining process, water is the most common fluid which are using, but additives such as alcohol or oil products or glycerin are also added when they can be dissolved in water to improve the fluid characteristics. Now the various components which are using in water jet machining process like hydraulic pump, intensifier, accumulator, high pressure tubing, jet cutting nozzle, and the catcher. This is the systematic diagram of water jet machining process. Like here is fluid supply or mixer supply. This is going to the pump, and with the help of pump, it goes through accumulator, and after accumulator, it goes through control panel, then valve, then nozzle, and then a strike on the workpiece. Here the hydraulic unit or intensifier we are using in the water jet machining process. These are the some requirements and function of the various components of water jet machining process like hydraulic pump. It is powered from a 30 kilowatt electric motor, supplies oil at pressure at high as 117 bars. Compressed oil drives a reciprocating plunger pump termed as intensifier. The hydraulic pump offers complete flexibility for water jet cutting and cleaning applications. It also supports single or multiple cutting stations for increased machining productivity. Now the requirement and various function of intensifier. It accepts the water at low pressure and expels it through an accumulator. It exceeds the pressure, or we can say that rise the pressure up to 3800 bar. The hydraulic system provides fluid power to a reciprocating piston in the intensifier center section. A limit switch located at each end of the piston travel signals the electronic control to the shift and directional control valve and reverse the piston direction. During the plunger intake stroke, Filtered water enter the high pressure cylinder through the check valve assembly. After the plunger reverse direction, the water is compressed and exits at ultra high pressure to the to the control and finally go into valve. Here the function of accumulator, it maintains the continuous flow of high pressure water and eliminate pressure fluctuations. It relies on the compressibility of water in order to maintain a uniform discharge pressure and water jet velocity when the intensifier piston changes its direction. Now we are using high pressure tubing in a water jet machining process. Like the function of high pressure tubing is it transport pressurized water to the cutting head. Typical tube diameters are 6 to 14 mm, which we are using in water jet machining process. The equipment allows for flexible movement of the cutting head. The cutting action is controlled either manually or through a remote control valve especially designed for the purpose. Now here are the some function of the jet cutting nozzle. It provides a coherent water jet stream for the optimum cutting of low density soft material that is considered unmachinable by conventional methods. The nozzles are normally made from synthetic sapphire. About 200 hours operation are expected from a nozzle, means we can say that the lifespan of any nozzle which you are using in water jet machining process up to 200 hours, which later becomes the damaged by particle of dirt and the accumulation of minerals deposit on the office orifice due to erosive water hardness. A longer nozzle life can be obtained through the multi-stage filtration, which removes undesired solids of size greater than zero point 0.5 micron. The compact design of the water jet cutting head promotes integration with motion control system ranging from two-axis tables to sophisticated multi-axis robotic installations. Here are the some process parameters, or we can say that the parameters which affect the performance of water jet machining process. Here in the middle we can put the jet cutting rate. Then if you're talking about jet nozzles, then the jet nozzles diameter and extent of distance, it influence or it affect the jet cutting rate or jet cutting performance. And material removal rate, surface quality, accuracy are totally dependent on these three parameters like jet nozzles, jet fluid, and workpiece. Like if we are talking about workpiece, then which type of workpiece we are using, what are the various thickness of workpiece we are using, and what are the feed rate given by water jet machining in the WJ. And the jet fluid properties are also affect the jet cutting rate or the material removal rate or the entire surface quality of workpiece in water jet machining process, like which type of fluid we are using in WJM, the velocity we are using in WJM, what is the flow rate, at which pressure we are delivering the fluid to the workpiece, and what is the viscosity of that particular liquid which are using in WJM process. Now the descriptive detail of various process parameters like the jet nozzle. A standoff distance is the gap between the jet nozzle and the workpiece. Uh, However, the material used in printed circuit boards, it may be increased to 13 to 19 mm. It is the distance between or the gap between the jet nozzle and the workpiece. Here are but larger the extent of distance, smaller would be the depth of cut, and the smaller the extent of distance, the larger would be the depth of cut. When cutting fiber reinforced plastic reports showed the increase in machining rate and the use of a small nozzle diameter increase the width of the workpiece. Here are the some characteristics of jet fluid which we are using in water jet machining process or liquid jet machining process. Like typical pressure, we are using 152,000 megapascal to provide 8 to 80 kilowatt of power. For a given nozzle diameter, increase in pressure allow more power to be used in machining process, which in turn increase the depth of cut. Jet velocities range between 540 to 1400 meter per second. The quality of cutting improves at higher pressure by winding the diameter of jet and by the lowering the traverse speed. Under such conditions, materials of greater thickness and densities can be cut. Moreover, the larger the pump pressure, the greater will be the depth of the cut. These are the some characteristics of jet fluid which we are using in water jet machining process. Here are the characteristics of some workpiece which on which machining is done by WJM. Like brittle material will fracture while ductile may once will cut well by WJM. Material thicknesses range from 0.8 mm to 25 mm. This table below shows the cutting rate of the different material with different thickness. Like leathers, if leather's thickness contain 2.2 mm, then the feed rate or the uh, cutting rate is 20 meter per mm. Similarly, vinyl chloride, polyester, calvar, graphite, gypsum board, pulp sheet, and the plywood have here this table represent the various thicknesses of the workpiece and the cutting rate of the these thicknesses of workpiece. These are the various applications of water jet machining process. Like water jet machining process used on metals as well as papers, cloths, leathers, rubbers, plastic, hoods, and in ceramic industries. It is a versatile and cost-effective cutting process that can be used as an alternative to traditional machining method. It completely eliminates heat-affected zone, toxic fumes, recast layers, work hardening, and thermal stasis. It is the most flexible and effective cleaning solution available for a variety of industrial needs. In general, the cut surface has a sandblast appearance. Moreover, harder material exhibit a better edge finish. Typical surface finishes range in the ASM is 1.6 micron root mean square to vary cross depending on the applications. Tolerance are in the range of plus minus 25 micron on the material. These are the some applications of water jet machining process. Now here are some advantages of water jet machining process. Like it has multi-directional cutting capacity. No heat is produced during operation. Cuts can be started at any location without the needs of pre-drilled holes. Wetting of the workpiece material is minimum. There is no deflection to the rest of the workpiece. The work produced is minimum. The tool does not wear and therefore does not need sharpening because we are not directly using any cutting tool in the water jet machining process. The process is environmentally safe. Hazardous airborne dust contamination and the waste disposal problem there are common when using other cleaning methods are eliminated. There is a multiple head processing. Simple fixturing eliminate costly and complicated tooling which reduce turnaround time and lower the cost. These are the various advantages of water jet machining process. Now it's time to check our knowledge on the basis of what we have studied in this lecture. Like first one question is what is the full form of WJM in advanced machining process? we have discussed in the first slide. WJM stand for water jet machining process. Second one is, what is the key element of water jet machining? For material removal, we can see that as its name suggested, then the water jet is the key element of water jet machining process for the material removal, or for the responsible of material removal in the water jet machining process. Third one is, what is the velocity of water jet stream in the water jet machining? We have seen that 900 meter per second. It is the velocity of water jet stream which we are using in water jet machining process. Fourth one is, which of the following is not a part of machining system of water jet machining? Like we have seen that accumulator, jet cutting nozzle, and the hydraulic pump are using in the water jet machining as a component in water jet machining process. But transducer is not any use in water jet machining process. Then our answer would be A. Now, what is the general power rating of the hydraulic pump used in WJM? We have seen in the fourth or fifth slide that 30 kilowatt is the general power rating of the hydraulic pump. Now the next question is, which of the following are components of intensifier present in water jet machining system? Piston, plunger, and limit switch. We have seen in the intensifier slides that we are seeing that piston, plunger, and limit switch are also using as a component in intensifier. Then all of the mentioned component are using in intensifier. Then our option is D. Now the next question one is, on which property of water will the accumulator in the water jet machining rely on? Compressibility. Compressibility is the main property of wire, which will the accumulator in the water jet machining rely on. Now the last one question is, which of the following does not damage the nozzle used in water jet machining? Particles of dust are damaging the nozzles. Mineral deposit also damaging the nozzles. But water is not responsible for any damages of nozzles. Then our answer is option C. Here we can add one sentence also. The life of the nozzle in water jet machining is up to 200 hours. So in this video lecture, we have seen that working of water jet machining process, principle of water jet machining process, components of water jet machining process, a requirement of components and the function of components of WJM, advantages and various applications of water jet machining process. And we have solved 8 multiple choice questions on the basis of this lecture. Now in the next lecture, we will discuss about electron beam machining. Thank you. Thank you all.